Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of the Buscor podcast. And I'm your host, Lindo Koza. And today, very excited and very honored actually to tell you the truth. We have the executive chairperson of the company, Dr. Norah Fakude. And because I wanted to do this, I wanted to introduce you, but because of everything that I read about you on your book and everything that I see on this wall, I don't want to leave anything else out. I want you to actually introduce yourself to the company's customers. Yes.
Thank you, Lindo. Thank you for the opportunity to can sit and talk about ourselves as Buscor. My name is Norah Fakude Kuna, born and bred in Bushbuck Ridge, a mother of 4 girls, very radical girls, and a grandmother to 8 children. I am, yes, the executive chair of Buscor, representing Zenani Trust in the Buscor stable. And other than that, I've got other small businesses that I'm doing outside. But today we are about Buscor.
Yes.
Uh,
I think you're just done playing. I think you're just done playing who you are and what you've done and where you've been, because the other people will call you mother of the nation, you know. And as I said, I read your book. There's so much that you've done and where you come from, how you got to be where you are as the executive chairperson of Buscor, and basically the other businesses, and how you became Dr. Norah Fakude.
but thanks, Lindo. If you want to go there, I think we better have enough time. Because like any other child,
Yeah.
especially a black child, born of a father who was epileptic and my mother who had to make means end to get us to school as well as be what we are today. Born of a Christian family, and I still practice that tradition because I preach in the Methodist Church. At school, primary school, at Sadi and then Mareti, and then I went to Oromelani High School, which was then Maribi, and attained my matric there, and came back and taught as a private teacher, and the department picked me up, sent me to Bochavelo in Middleburg to train as a teacher. Came back, started teaching, and I was thrown into the middle of poverty. And I had to do something, otherwise I felt what I was trying to do in teaching was falling in deaf ears. That's how I started my little home craft center, because I was a handwork teacher and helped my children to improve their handwork, and they couldn't eat their handwork. So I had to devise some means over the weekend, put my handbag, work in the sheet, jump in mabus alamakwamaza, Heineke, and sticks nyalungu, ibushbuck. Come to White River, sell my handwork, and go and do meals for my children. And I can assure you, my class of standard 6 then was the best class ever. They've never produced that. Luckily, with that having started, BIC tried to steal me. They didn't try because they succeeded to come and continue my teaching, but teaching old people to make a living. So I came to Mahishushu. That's when I ran around improving the handwork of people who were willing to work. And it became an export center for bantu baseGemu for their handwork. That's how I got in there. And then after 3-4 years, 1986, when riots were bad, BIC decided to close the road and close the government closed the road there at Kruger National Park, and BIC decided to close the Kruger, the Dizenza. And I said, no, you took me out of my job. And there are people depending on this thing. You can't close it. Give it to me, send it to me. I'll try and see how I'll sustain it. And it was a big fight until Gangwane government, especially Babe Inos Maboza, intervened, and that's how I got into Dizenza. And indeed, I tried to make a success of Dizenza. It survived, grew. I had to change from curio shop to filling station to bar lounge to bakery, all the little home land businesses asemakhaya. And I think I can safely say that I made a big success of it, because what was happening lapha eGame eJanini is something that was not seen around the country. So that's my story. Dizenza today, where I started, I rebuilt, and it's a shopping mall. People are enjoying. Yes, I became part of the first gaming board establishment in South Africa, because we were the first to establish a gaming board in South Africa. Here in Mpumalanga, we're given a piece of legislation. We did manage, and I was requested by Minister Alex Doing to go and assist in establishing the Notaries Board. Went there, served for 11 years. And the lottery that you are playing today, if you do, comes from our hands. Well, yeah. But I won't know the numbers because they're unofficial. Yeah. But I unfortunately you man. And then served also, continued serving the ANC even when they were in exile. Even when they came back, I continued serving. I was in a national officers NOB now for the Veterans League, because I continued until today. So that is me. Yes, we as Buscor are charged to transport the people of Mpumalanga, especially the Lowveld region. And we normally transport, it's 150,000 ticketed, weekly, monthly, and a few cash tickets, which takes us to plus minus 180,000 passengers a day. It is not just to transport them. We must make sure that they are on time, safe, yes, and the transport is reliable. Hence, that is the core. And I think that's what you want to hear from me. Yes. And how we do safety, how we make sure that people are reliable, how we make sure that they arrive at work fresh. Yes. You note that our services start around 3 o'clock in the morning. Drivers have to report to the different depots, and that's when we joined. We offered the taxis to transport our staff, our drivers, from their homes to the depots. We pay for that service and make sure that the drivers are safe to go and take buses. And then our drivers, who are the face and the safety of our passengers, are in their hands. They are trained and retrained and spoken to every time so that we make sure that they know what to do in order for our passengers to be safe and arrive on time. And maintenance of the buses. Yes. You can see when you walk out there, the buses are scheduled to go and be checked according to the kilometers they run and checked by a group. A certain number of buses are given to a certain group of mechanics. We call them teams, and those buses are checked by those teams and are maintained by those teams. And we make sure that there are no standing on the corners of the road. If there's a breakdown from that, they'll have to explain. And if it repeats itself, there are consequences. I won't tell what the consequences are. However, that's how strict we are. We want to give a bus that is going to do its work without any failure. The only failure that can be there can be a tire. That allow because nobody can control that. Even on the roads, on the potholes, we do try. We've got three these machines that fix the road. Yes. And they make sure that the bad roads in the areas, especially the rural areas, are fixed. The TLS, etc. So that is about our.
Yes, I love that you mention the vision or the mission of the company, making sure that passengers get to be safe, making sure that passengers get to work whilst they're still fresh and early. However, as a passenger myself, I always say this, I speak on behalf of the passengers because I use the bus every day. So of late there has been, I don't know, should I call it disruptions or a couple of changes that have been going on, and we have a lot of my fellow passengers who have been coming out and saying this and this is happening, and somehow some of them feel like they have been speaking out, but it seems as if they are not being heard. So you please address what is happening right now and put us at ease because we are panicking. Yes.
No, we are not falling apart. No. We are instead trying to improve the service. Firstly, I want to apologize to all the passengers who are being affected by this. We had started with the White River divisions, there were disruptions, and I hope it's getting better. And then we followed with Nelspruit. When you link them together, there were disruptions. Yeah. But then the last one, Manilane, has perfected because they've learned from the two. This is because we as Buscor try to improve our service. We research and follow the people who are in this market, especially we go abroad, learn the systems, see what they are doing. And you can see the ticketing system is something else and the maintenance is something else where I'm not scared to say we are best.
Yeah.
And we then introduced this OptiBus, which is a system that will assist in scheduling the buses and the drivers so that we avoid a driver going to pick up a wrong bus, departing at the wrong time. But in the beginning, there were those things that people couldn't understand, trying to marry the old system that we are running away from with the new system. That's where you see all the discrepancies. But we are trying to perfect that system. I must say, with the report that we got last week, it's getting much better. Avoiding also that the passengers don't know which bus is going to pick us up when you find them raising tickets, bus passes, and they don't understand what is happening. Now, that is not going to happen because the bus knows where to pick up at what time. What is us, I think, in the system, I must say, is that maybe we didn't count the stops, the times that the bus stops along the way. That's why you find them 15 minutes late, 10 minutes late. But we are working very hard to make sure that those hiccups are eliminated. It is for your sake, it's for our sake, because we are not charged in just transporting you to work. We are charged in transporting you and making sure that you arrive in time, you don't lose your jobs. And what was happening really worried us, but we are over the heck.
Okay. That's good news. Now I don't have to raise my ticket. No more raising my ticket. No more. Oh, that's good news. Because sometimes you raise it and you see the driver is like, man, I told you. You're a reporter. You're a report. Because that's what we do. But it's great now that you don't have to raise the ticket. The bus driver knows where to stop. If you see the bus driver passing, it's not your bus. That's basically.
Absolutely.
Yes. And she apologized. I forgive you. I forgive you. Now we are going to move along to something that is also very important. This is going to be very informative for anyone who wants to come in and ask for sponsorship and or maybe donations. I remember you and I had a conversation. I was like, but who do you give to? And you explained that there's a criteria before somebody is given, say, maybe a bus. There's some other people come and ask for buses, and others come and ask for food, and some other people come in and ask for money. So before we get to the criteria, what is the importance of sponsorship or donations in the company? Why is it that people don't know? Buscor gives so much to different communities. Why is it so important for Buscor to give out to communities or give back?
Lindo, thank you very much for that question because it's very important to us. We serve different types of communities, and in the rural areas for that matter, where there are real problematic issues when it comes to transport, it comes to food for the children, it comes to elderly. Hence, we set up this division which deals with sponsorships. And the division, especially for the schools, like creches and other areas, development deals with it with the help of this office so that they use the criteria that we've set up and also assist the applicants, like those that walk in and say, we are a committee, we want some money to buy food.
Yeah.
They help them to register as an NPO so that we know who we are giving stuff to, and they are also answerable at the end of the year that we gave them so much food, they fed so much children and elderly. Hence, we have your development. Old age, we have Siapila Old Age Center, yes, which was accredited and developed with the assistance of the social development in Mpumalanga when the new government stepped in 1995. The building was put up in 1996, and from there, Buscor is charged in making sure that the well-being of the elderly, their health, and they eat, and then added a feeding scheme. There are about 500 children that gets their meal at Siapila on a daily basis, despite the fact that they might be having some meal at school.
Yeah.
But they come get a meal so that at home they eat before they sleep, and they wake up and eat their leftovers before they get to school. We do that religiously because where some of us come from, we know a hungry stomach makes you lose your hearing. And we also were the first company to take 2 buses, change them inside. Yes.
So,
Yes, and made it, kitted it with toys and learning materials, and it would drive to all this, the Zen daycare centers, Makreshi and Abokok. And then the children would get into the bus, play with toys, touch the numbers, and do everything that they needed to do, because those oldies would just allow children to come, eat, sleep, go. And we tried to improve that, and we ended up having 4 buses. And then government came with it in childhood development. Hence, we then say we are going to focus now in training the people, oldies, young, to take care of the children and teach them something. Until 2 or 3 years ago, when the government decided to formalize early childhood development, but we have been doing it here at Buscor from 1998, 97, 98. So we care. And it's not just the 500 children that eat. It's different areas.
yeah.
I think we're feeding about 1,500 children a day.
Wow.
Our elderly are taken care of. They are given buses to go to the Kruger. Now they demand to go to Durban. We're going to let them go to Durban. They are treated like eggs. They come in old. By the time you see them after a month, Basha foods.
Becoming young at Buscor.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I got the privilege of seeing how these ladies cook the meals for the children at Siapila, and I was at awe because so many children come there, and they get food. And that is something, that is just amazing because we know how our communities are. Most recently, you gave them school bags. You were there giving us school bags and lunch boxes. That's also something why am I saying we? Vasco gives. Vasco should give to me.
And the school bags, yes, especially now the kafting inside. It's not just for them to have kafting, so that when they go and fetch their food, they've got something to put. Again, at the school bags, you find a child actually mapogo in a plastic bag and somebody carrying a very expensive school bag, and already you've discourage that child that comes with a plastic chain. So it's not just giving school bags and containers just for fun. No, it's
Keeping them in school.
keep them in school. They have a uniform. Nobody can point a finger.
Yeah.
And they can go and dish up and take their food at home. All of them. So
It's very important and very nice. We'll get to what you should give to me. But for now, we're focusing on the important parts. We are going to move along to the importance of the stakeholders that Buscor has, the relationship that Buscor has with government, and the relationship that Buscor has with the taxi association. Because other people think that it's always WWE SmackDown between Buscor and the taxi association. which isn't true. So what is the importance of having stakeholders in the company? What role do they play?
It's extremely important to have that relationship. I'll start with the taxes. Yes, I've indicated in my introduction that the taxes are used, hired, paid by Buscor, those that manage to qualify for our tender to transport our staff. The staff of over 1,000 drivers that are transported in the 3 divisions, and we depend on the taxis to transport them on time. And I must say 90% didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
And if we had that bad relationship with them, we wouldn't put our drivers in their key to make sure that they arrive in time at work. However, you do find rotten apples in each bag. There are those who just woke up in the morning and say, Buscor Asaifu, they are taking our passengers and our people and everything. But for us, we are governed by the laws, transport laws in this country. And I am sure the laws also govern them. It might not be the same, but we're all governed. We stick within our lane. We make sure that we honor and follow the laws of this country governing bus operations to the T. And when people point fingers, you can't stop them, but we keep on saying, we know we have stick to what we are charged to do. And we are not going to allow anybody, be it taxis, be it trains, be it buses, to get us out of the way we are supposed to operate until our stakeholder, which is the main stakeholder, the passengers, say, we don't want Buscor anymore.
Yeah.
We will pack our buses and go. Until the second stakeholder, which is government, says that Buscor, you are no more doing what you have signed to do. Pack your stuff and go. We will abide. And hence, there are all the noises that you hear. And we seem to be quiet because we are quiet, because until somebody points a finger on something wrong that we are doing, we focus on what we're supposed to do and do it right. And I can assure you that we are from December. We are from 2023, December 2022, even during the COVID. We do have accidents in some things, but not Buscor. Even now, last week, there's some country outside that they had a bus accident where 37 people died. Yes. I don't think you've ever heard of such with Buscor. So this is the focus. Make sure that our passengers are safe. Make sure that they jump in a bus, balale. People see jumping very early in the morning, balale, and get to the terminus and go to work fresh. We monitor even the driving. We have auto track. We have cameras in the buses to make sure that the drivers does what we ask them to do for the sake of our passenger. And until we divert from that and the new laws are implemented, there's nothing we can do. Who do we shout? Why do we shout? Why do we go arguing? Because there is a law that governs us.
Yeah. Following the law. Yeah. Hey. Actually, somebody said what you said, that I get in the bus and I sleep. That's how much they trust that they'll get to their destination. All right, so we are moving to a very sensitive topic, which is price increase, and we get a lot of the company's customers saying, "Please don't increase the prices. You've increased last year. Why do you have to do it again this year?" And I know that we are already nearing the month where we are going to introduce the new price adjustments. I want to understand, and I know a lot of the customers want to understand why we have to increase prices or make adjustments.
Thanks, Sissy, for that question. It's not nice to address it. However, our passengers need to know what is happening. Firstly, it's the fuel increases. Sometimes 4 times a year, sometimes even more. Yes, in between there will be one slight decrease. But if you look at the increase, it's nowhere near the decrease that has been given. And we have to cope with that because you don't want your bus to stand without fuel on the road. Number 2, we have a basket of spares that needs to be looked at, especially the spares that are evolving and needs to be replaced and fixed time and again. That basket of spares, different price increases at different times. We look at the average and take a percentage, including the fuel increase. And then you look at the buses, which are mainly manufactured outside the country. If you look at where we started with the rand dollar and the rand euro, it has, like when our government, Ramaphosa, started, the rand was 13 rand per dollar. Now we are at 18 to 19 rand a dollar. It's an increase. You can't even say I'll mitigate because it's there.
Yeah.
And salary increases. Bargaining council, they go there. It's agreed last year that for the 2 years we'll have now 5.6% increase. And you put everything in that basket and say, where can we cut in order to meet our passengers halfway? If you look at the increases holistically, we should or would be coming with 15-20%, which cannot work for our passengers. And then you look at what is it that we can do to mitigate for the price increase. In order to continue giving you the best buses, which are not stuck along the road, where we don't run out of fuel, we look at the minimum increase that we can implement. And we don't just wake up and, as Buscor saying, we'll put in 5%, 6% increase. We negotiate and even present to the government to say, we feel out of this basket, we feel we can afford if you allow us 6-7%.
Yeah.
And then it's agreed. Because some of the issues if you go look at Africa, South Africa, we're the only company that runs train buses. We are the only company that introduced the buy-out.
It's articulated.
That is the reason so that we can accommodate a lot of passengers in one bus in order to save. Hence, you can see we can afford buying new buses for the comfort of our passengers. We can afford repairing our buses and afford buying diesel. Yes, we are also losing a bit. If you listen, other companies would introduce increases 2-3 times a year. We normally do it once in the past 20 years, we only did it twice because of the fuel increases. I think it's last year. Otherwise, it's increased once. The other increases jumps in, but we stick to the one increase. And I want to promise that if the budget on the 12th come up favorable, because obviously fuel will be hit and other increases will be hit, we will manage to stick to nearly CPI increase or that complements our basket.
Okay. So it's not just at 5 rand, the Matsulu to Nelspruit, at 10 rand, 22 days. So a lot goes on to...
What is it that will help us give our passengers good buses? What is it that will make them safe? What is it that, all those things.
Yeah.
And where can we cut? If you look at our bus operators, bus companies, owns, and we still use our buggies now, but to make
Yeah. Okay, now that we understand and you've explained everything, and this was amazing, before I get to what I wanted to request, I wanted to find out, and I'm sure everyone else wants to find out, because you are far from a lot of people, only the close people know what you like to eat, maybe like olives, we don't. What is it that you do for fun? What is it that you like doing for fun?
Do you really want to?
We want to know. I've already asked the question. What do you do for fun? Maybe we could join you, one time. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kwanza kujana ngidza.
Angithi.
To join. And the good meaning a building.
Labor.
Anytime. Be building something.
Yeah.
Repairing something here, breaking something and rebuilding. That's me.
That's
where it comes from.
Yeah.
When we grew up, I think I was about 6, 7, we used to go etimvanze nangatumwe yasathi sivanze. We were silima madumbi. I don't know what to call madumbi. Ngesilumbi mean. Silima bo patata sibuya nempitho within not within sanga we wapatata sitopheka ekhaya. And leti vanzeli bongena ubhoxomela ufika. You either had to love it or hate it. And I chose to love it.
You loved it.
Yeah. And I love cars.
Yeah. I noticed.
Yeah. Cars, buses, that's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the cars part, not the mad part. I'll join you for the other part. The cars part is fine. I'll join you there. Okay, good bus.
Ngiyapatayenda nama ngifuna sisekhampanini.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Humble beginnings.
I don't know where to get like higher. You have to start. It's not one-man show. It's a kiosk company, senior money owned by 2 families. And then there are senior managers, there are general managers, there are operations managers, there are schedulers. You have to start late. You tell us, uifunelani. Ufuna compete.
No, I'm not going to be doing... Anyway, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, let's forget about that one. Slow way. Near being rich.
I think of something else. Anyway, thank you for not giving me the bus. Closing remarks.
No harm in trying.